Where should we start? On this Monday edition of The Lunch Break, we welcome you in December 9th, 2024. A lot of football to unpack, some baseball to unpack, a lot of questions to be asked and hopefully answered here on the show today. We welcome you in. We hope you all had a fantastic weekend. And I said it in the tweet promoting the show before we got on the air here today. I don't know where we're going to go on today's show. We have a lot to discuss. There's a lot for us to unpack. There are franchise-altering questions that need to be answered here on the Monday edition of the program. We are going to attempt to sort through it all, and we are glad that you are going to join us today on this journey. Your way to join the show today, 480-864-1060 is the phone number. You can also join us on YouTube, KDUS AM 1060 over there, for the live video version of the program. I don't know what the next 2 hours are going to look like, folks, because there's good, there's bad, there's ugly. It is all going to be put together here over the course of this radio program. I guess this is where we will start today's show.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
It's over. You can stick a fork in the Arizona Cardinals' playoff chances. Yes, mathematically, they have a 17% chance to make the playoffs, or whatever the numbers were that we shared to you at the end of last week, what the loss would do to their playoff odds. They're done. They're cooked. With that type of performance, with the way that they played in front of their home crowd, with everything in the balance, they are done. And with that performance yesterday, they opened up Pandora's box. They opened up a world of questions, some of which we are going to try to answer today, some of which will only get answered over the remaining 5 games or however many games they have left in this campaign, 4 games or so left in this campaign. But yesterday, the Cardinals, in front of you, in front of their home crowd, ended their playoff campaign. They ended their season. It's over. They're toast. With the backdrop of winning the football game being your pathway to controlling your fate, your destiny in the NFC West, having a soft schedule the remainder of the way. 2 of the 4 games you are going to play are against the Panthers and Patriots, top 10 right now in the NFL draft standings. That was what was in front of the Arizona Cardinals. And what did they do? Laid a goose egg. And not just any old goose egg. They laid the type of egg that is going to have us talking all week long. I don't know if we are going to preview their upcoming game the way that we would normally preview a Cardinals game, because there is so much to dissect from this game yesterday. Because I've been watching football a long time. One of the first sports I watched on a regular basis with my dad. It's a sport. Every Sunday, you know the drill. You sit down and you enjoy the entire spoils of a football Sunday. You get the yard work done early in the day, and you get ready. Being an East Coast guy, 1 o'clock rolls around, all these games start. Most times, football games aren't decided in the first quarter. Even in blowouts, even in games that get out of hand, they get out of hand late. And you still maybe go into the locker room at halftime a couple of adjustments away from being able to win a football game. The Arizona Cardinals yesterday were done in the first quarter. They were done in the first quarter because you had what could only be described as the perfect start to the game. You take the ball first, you start the game with the ball, and you go right down the field, and you do the thing that we have been waiting for this offense to do. You have the big play down the field. You have the shot. And it wasn't to Trey McBride. It wasn't to Marvin Harrison Jr., but it was a down-the-field shot to Michael Wilson. And you marched right down the field in quick order, got the big play, and you were up 7-0. The perfect start. How did your defense follow that up? Well, it's the Arizona Cardinals defense at home. It's what we've come to expect with this defense at home. Yeah, you might be able to move down the field on them, but you're not getting in the end zone. We're going to hold you to a field goal, and it's 7-3. And now you have the ball back after having that offensive drive, after having your defense hold in a goal-to-goal situation, and you had an opportunity right there. You march right down the field. It's 14-3. The crowd is into it. The Seahawks are feeling the pressure of being on the road. You have all the momentum in your corner. What happened after that could only be described as in a cartoon when the villain, the Wile E. Coyote, sets up the trap, and he is the one that's victim to his own trap. That's what happened to the Arizona Cardinals yesterday, because Kyler Murray imploded in front of us all. He imploded. The Arizona Cardinals and their offense melted down yesterday. Kyler Murray melted down yesterday because 7-3 with the ball, a chance to take a 2-score lead. Do you know what Kyler Murray did? He threw a really bad interception and gave the Seahawks a short field. And what did the Seahawks do with that opportunity? And then what happened on the next drive? Another back-breaking interception that the Seahawks took in for points. That was it. That's the game. The first quarter is where this game was decided. A perfect start, the dream start, turned into an absolute nightmare. And that nightmare played out over the remainder of the game where the Cardinals couldn't get anything going offensively. The group that was supposed to be the strength of this team this season, the group that was supposed to keep them in games because their defense was going to probably give up points. Now, please, the defense had their faults yesterday. They gave up big plays. They couldn't tackle. They got carved up in the running game. They got carved up out of the backfield with dump passes to Zach Charbonnet. They certainly didn't help matters yesterday. But that's the game that we pointed out to you on Friday was going to determine a lot about the Jonathan Gannon era. It was the most important game that they have played since Gannon has taken over as the head coach. And that's the offensive display that we got in that football game. That is how this team started the first quarter. That is what they did for their season. Since the bye week, this team has not won a game. Went up to Seattle, played probably their worst game of the season, but still had a chance to win. Went to Minnesota, had a 2-score lead late into the third quarter, had a lead going into the fourth quarter, blew that game. Look at what the Minnesota Vikings did to the Atlanta Falcons yesterday on the scoreboard. And the Cardinals defense put the type of performance that they put on that team the week prior, and you couldn't win the football game. And then this week, you come home, your first home game after a bye, and you have an opportunity to wash the bad taste out of everybody's mouths for the way that you played for the last 2 weeks. And you know what you did? You made the bad taste even worse. Because what you did yesterday, by blowing that performance, by blowing that opportunity to take full control of the NFC West, is you opened up the door to have all of the conversations that we said were tabled, that we said were sidelined, that we're not going to have, that we were not going to have in this era with Jonathan Gannon, with Monty Ossenfort, and with Kyler Murray. All of those questions, they're back on the table. We are opening the door to have those conversations. We got to have a conversation about this coach. We got to have a conversation about this quarterback. And truthfully, we have to have a conversation about the direction of this team. Because I get it. A couple of weeks ago, we were singing the praises. We were singing the songs of this organization. And they deserved it at the time. But you know what? They hadn't done anything yet. They had to finish the job. And after going into the bye 6-4, this team has yet to win a football game. With the backdrop of the playoffs and a home playoff game, this team has found ways to lose every single week. And this past Sunday, the icing on top of the cake. Because in a game you had to have with all the pressure in the world, your quarterback came up short. Your quarterback imploded. Your quarterback melted down. Kyler Murray had a meltdown yesterday. That opens up a world of possibility for what the future of this team is going to look like.